And now, your host, Couch Tomato!
All right, before we get into that, I did mention last week that I was going to start a private chat, and actually, for the people who have supported us up to this point, I really appreciate it. You're actually invited to that, private group me, so we could discuss topics that we don't necessarily get to discuss in the comment section, like Black Panther. So if you are a Patreon member, just sign up for the Group Me app if you haven't already. Go ahead and send me either the phone number attached to it or the email address attached to it. Try to attach your email so that way I could actually just add you into the Group Me chat, and we could just discuss this topic as well as trailers, etc. If you aren't a Patreon supporter, feel free to head over. $3 a month, which is less than like a movie ticket, helps support the podcast, the channel, and everything that we're doing. But it also gives you that connection to us where we get to stay connected throughout the week. So thanks there. And moving along, this film is going to have a huge impact outside of what happened on screen. It's about the message that it relayed outside of the screen. So that's going to help with this ranking. So let's rank this baby on where does it rank with the other Marvel movies. And keep in mind, we've done a list like this before. I'm not going to go through it too much because the bottom half of my list tends to stay the same year after year. So what I want to do is I want to tell you where Black Panther falls, and I want to tell you why I'm putting other movies ahead of it. So my list minus Black Panther, and Hulk, you could just, I know our list was similar until it got closer to the top last time, but last time without, this isn't including Black Panther. So Avengers, the God, basically, Iron Man, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, you have Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok, Doctor Strange, Civil War, Age of Ultron, Thor, Captain America, the First Avenger, Spider-Man Homecoming, Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World. The bottom changed a little bit because now I'm starting to respect Captain America, the First Avenger more now. And I'm also starting to
good.
I'm starting to disrespect Spider-Man Homecoming also. So that kind of fell. But overall, any glaring differences between my list and yours?
Like you said, like I always had the First Avenger higher than yours, and but I think like our top, but like you said, our top three is the same almost.
You got Iron Man in your top three?
Yeah.
All right. So what's your top three then?
My top three is the First Avengers, Winter Soldier, and then Iron Man.
All right, and then all right. So now for the big reveal, I got Black Panther at number 4.
Wow.
Where do you have Black Panther?
That's the thing. Like, it was a struggle for me. Like, I went back and forth up until the time we recorded this. But it's just like, I had to put it ahead of Iron Man and put it number 3.
Good. You still got it in your top 4. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
So, so let me tell you the reason why I didn't do that. I went back and forth. When I first saw this movie, I'm like, oh, easy. It's number 4. Easy. And then I was going to record that day and put it at number 4, which I ended up doing anyway. And then as time went by and I'm like, I just kept thinking more about the movie. I'm like, no, the fact that I'm still thinking about this, Iron Man never made me feel this way because Iron Man did so much for the comic book universe where I think Black Panther's doing so much outside. Like, I think this is going to change the way diversity. All right, I'm in the middle of this, but I might actually put Black Panther over Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I'm going to tell you why. So I got it at number 3 now. I just changed my mind just because I'm talking right now. And let me tell you why I'm putting Winter Soldier, I'm moving it down and I'm moving Black Panther up. But let me start from the top and tell you why certain movies are more important. So my list is based off of importance, relevance, and also the entertainment value for a comic book movie fan and also a casual fan. If someone's never seen an MCU movie, typically out of this list, you introduce them to Avengers, Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy. Anything outside of that, you run the risk of alienating your potential recruit. My wife's not really into comic book movies, but she got into comic book movies when I introduced her to Iron Man. This is after like Thor and First Avenger came out. This was getting her ready for Avengers. And that still works to this day. I introduced a casual fan to Winter Soldier. And I came to the realization that comic book movie fans love Winter Soldier. However, casual fans, not so much. The action's great, but it doesn't keep them glued. Like they're not anxious to see the other movies. I think with Iron Man and the after credit scene, and when you explain to them what happens, I'm like, no, they had different movies, and then they all came together 4 years later. They were like, oh, let me see how it plays out. I'm like, first you have to watch this. You just watched it. Now go watch Thor. Hey, go watch Captain America: The First Avenger. Like they're all gonna get into one movie, and then you introduce them to Avengers, and then they're glued all the way through. You try to do that with the Winter Soldier, it doesn't work that way. It's a one-off, and they don't necessarily come back, so it's hard to retain fans with that movie. So Avengers, it did so much for the comic book movie genre as a whole. The money that it produced. The first to really cross 200 million. Now everybody could do it. I think that movie made people like blockbusters more. That's the reason why you're seeing these other movies continue to break that record. And the after credit scene, just the merging of the universe, they made Fox, Sony, and Warner Brothers change their slate completely.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if Avengers never came out, there would have been a continuation of the Christopher Nolan universe. Yeah. But the reason that they rebooted it is because we've excluded all these other characters that we own. We got to start over because Superman can't be in this universe. If you remember, I'm pretty sure that tease that we saw at the end when they were teasing Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the new Batman, that would have came to fruition. But Avengers changed that, and it changed the way Sony went to business. With Spider-Man, it changed the way Fox went to business. With X-Men, it changed the way everyone went to business. Iron Man, although I particularly don't necessarily, I don't sit through Iron Man nowadays. I've just seen it too many times. So for me, it doesn't hold up. But it does. But I'm just saying that's not a movie that I want to sit through. There's some parts that I feel like I don't want to go through the scene. Can we fast forward to the good stuff? But that basically redefined the origin story. Those plot points that happen in that movie, having a dark hero, but he comes to an aha moment and he wants to change the world, that vigilante approach. Everybody used to follow the Batman structure at first. It's like a dead parent at a young age, and then you all of a sudden, because of something within you, you want to do good. But no, this showed the flaw in heroes. Also, it popularized hiring Oscar worthy candidates as superheroes. Not everybody that does these movies have been recognized, from an Oscar or Academy performance or something like that. Although I know they did the whole Christopher Nolan thing with, their Batman, and he was already a prestigious actor. I think this movie popularized it. And also when you have your sarcastic hero tossing jokes, that's what you used to put sidekicks in the movie for. The reason they give those one-liners to heroes now is because of Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal. So it was so influential to comic book movie genre, not as much as Avengers, but just as much. Captain America: Winter Soldier, I think, is the best action we've ever seen in a comic book movie, and some of the best action we've ever seen in a movie in general. And I also think it's the future of comic book movies, to where you're starting to see them mesh comic book themes with other genres like political spy thriller. Okay, Ant-Man's going to be a heist as well as a comic book movie. That's the first time I remember it being done. And I think that's extremely important. And I think that's how comic book movies are going to survive for the next decade, when you start merging it with different genres. However, the only reason I'm putting Black Panther ahead of it is because, same thing, the impact off the screen, it introduced me to characters I didn't know, which I think were difficult because you have a cast full of no names, right? And you also tie in so much of the realistic political climate today. And I'm like, so from a box office standpoint, it delivered. And also from a villain standpoint, it delivered. No name actors, it introduced me to like the future of Hollywood. And also it made more fans, because a lot of people that saw this movie they've never watched the MCU film. And some people in my circle have already, kind of confessed to that. Like, what is an MCU? What is that? Like some kind of virus? Is that something on the periodic table of elements? They've made these.
Yeah, people.
Go ahead.
Yeah, now I added a good percentage to Infinity War. Like, people are gonna watch this just because of Black Panther. Yep. Like, I know that for a fact.
So I got it at number 3, and I'm putting down Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yeah, me, I'm like kind of reverse. I guess like it's in my top 3, but I think I'm putting down Iron Man. I still have Avengers at the top, Winter Soldier at number 2, and like you said, with Black Panther, I had to put it number 3 just because of the culture. Because now it's like, where do you visit? Do you visit Zamunda or do you visit Wakanda? You know what I'm saying? Like, it has.
It's a tough question.
Like,
but
it has that.
Me personally, I never remember Hakeem getting whooped like 3 or 4 times in the movie. If you remember how he handled Samuel L. Jackson in that robbery scene, like. Is this your king? Really? Like, the dude got whooped a couple times. When you take that Black Panther drink out of his mouth, he kind of just a regular dude. But
that was the worst beatdown since like superhero beatdown since like Bane, like when he destroyed Batman. Like,
don't forget Captain America. But Captain America through the fight.
Yeah, he wanted Bucky to win. He wanted Bucky to win. Yeah. So I don't count that one.
Nah, this dude was getting.
He got whooped.
He had basically Forrest Whitaker had to jump in. I'm like, you're messing up his honor even more.
Exactly. Yeah. Bruh, what are you doing?
One thing I don't like is when you get whooped. If you get whooped, just go sit down somewhere. And you just want to fight. You want to go take your Senzu bean, go get your magic powers back. And then you want to go beg for a rematch. That's why, I don't like when people do that. Like, you begging the guy who won for a rematch.
I didn't yield. That's what you were saying.
I didn't yield, bro. Hey, fight. So he said, hey, man, I don't got time for this, bro. The fight over, dude. You got whooped. Hey, man, let's go. Let's get back to work.
He was in a coma, bro.
He said, no. I didn't die. I cheated. And they gave me some medicine, which was supposed to be that's supposed to disqualify him.
Exactly.
And I'm like, bruh, just take this L and just move your butt out of Wakanda, bruh. Just go somewhere.
Nah, that's true. He was not supposed to come back. Like, he lost, bro. He took that L.
And once again, when I watch this movie, I'm gonna watch this movie a couple more times. I'm probably gonna go see it today. It's Monday. I'm probably gonna go see it today. The kids are out of school.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely buying the Blu-ray. Just to kind of hear more from the director. However, the more I watch it, there's going to be scenes in the middle that I don't want to sit through, just like the Iron Man thing. And that's why I urge everyone out there who's a movie buff, but has people in their circle who don't like these type of movies. Introduce them to those movies that you have in your top 3. And that's what I mean. Because although when you talk to people are surprised I have Iron Man so high. But I'm like, no, it's a better movie. If I never seen any of these movies and I watch all of them for the first time, Iron Man's probably going to sit higher than some of these other films. It's not about it's a little bit about it. A little bit of it is about rewatchability. However, a majority of it is about that first instinct on how you feel. That's why we're doing this ranking list now and not 10 times, after I see the movie 10 times down the line.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so it's in both of our top 3, apparently.
You like tomato?
And you like tomato?
Potato?
Potato?
Tomato?
Tomato?
Let's call them